Indian summer. The Amazon. Sophie had just moved in with a roommate after finishing her university studies. She came from the big city and her attraction for the countryside was felt. She left university residences to live in a rural area of the suburbs, accompanied by a woman she knew nothing about. She had found an ad on the internet, a young woman looking for a roommate with the possibility of pension for a horse. She had always cherished the dream of owning her own horse. The ad had seduced her, and after briefly talking on the phone with her future roommate, she decided to go into exile in this lost corner, where she knew no one. The meeting with his roommate was friendly and pleasant. They made a first ride on horseback to visit the estate. The young woman with whom she had moved had a land of several hectares, including a sand pit and a small lake from an abandoned quarry. The estate was grand and the wooded trails that ran through it all charmed Sophie. Since graduating from university, Sophie worked in the sciences. She was a lecturer in the Department of Biology. She was a serious woman, but had a hidden side a little eccentric. She had started her new job as soon as she graduated at the end of the winter semester. So it was spring, and to celebrate the end of her studies, she decided to buy a horse, which she had always dreamed of. This one in his possession, it was not long to furrow the paths of the domain where she lived, most often alone. She and her roommate saw themselves very rarely, given their schedule that did not coincide. Most of the time, the only moments when they noticed were at mealtime. Sophie loved long walks on horseback in the woods. It allowed him to delve into his thoughts and daydream. She rode every day after work, except on Friday afternoon, when she was off. The days were becoming longer and warmer with the arrival of summer. Moreover, the summer belonged to him, not working during this season because of the stop of the courses for this period. Her naturist nature often led her to go to the quarry where the small lake was. She went there on horseback, to take a few moments of pure pleasure. On the lookout for prying eyes, she watched if the place seemed safe and unbuttoned her blouse. She let him fall to the ground, touching his skin, while heading to the lake. Naked breasts, under a leaden sun, she savored the heat and the softness of the sun. The water was moistening her foot as she advanced. She plunged under the cold water with delight. Her emerging head kept out of the lake, exposing her wet hair, which was sticking to her body. Returning to the shore by swimming, she climbed out of the water in all her grace. The water trickled over his body following his curves. Not having taken care to remove her panties before entering the water, it all wet bothered him. She had removed it before lying on a rock. The beautiful stranger. Alex was passionate about speed. He loved motors, at his hours, because tranquility also seduced him. At the wheel of his Jaguar, sunroof, he devoured highways. He was very noticed on his way. In his gilded bodywork, inside in cream leather, he had a number of women in his shoes, whom he had seduced by the way. He took them on a walk, offered them a good meal at his restaurant and invited them to spend part of the night with him in his hotel suite. Alex was rich and wealthy, having inherited from his father, a rich businessman. He had inherited a restaurant and the adjoining hotel, where he had made his home and where he brought his conquests. Money was not a problem for him. The flowering business his father had left him was enough to support him, but he had been dreaming for a long time. Driving trucks. Thanks to his financial means, he was able to start a business in excavation. He possessed then a fleet of 5 12-wheels and machinery. Loving having a steering wheel in his hands, he was not content to run the business, he was also a driver. According to his contracts, he sometimes had to go to the sand pit of the estate where Sophie was staying. The road he took to get to the sand dunes was cut off from the equestrian trails. On a beautiful afternoon in late July, Alex was driving his 12 wheels on the dirt road that led to the sand pit. In the distance, he saw a silhouette enjoying himself. A cavalier advanced towards him. Charmed by the softness of the landscape, he slows down his vehicle to admire more the beauty that presented itself to him. Having almost completely stopped her truck, the rider crossed Alex's path. She looked up at him and met his gaze. In fact, their eyes had not only crossed, they had long reveled from the depths of their eyes one and the other. She crossed the path that led to the sand pit, left Alex's eyes, to reach his path on the other side of the road. Alex did not leave her eyes any more, although she ended up leaving her field of vision. He tried to observe that she was taking direction, he followed her gaze until she disappeared from her vision. All his senses were turned upside down. Their eyes had long crossed, before she took the wooded path adjoining the road that led to the sandpit. Sophie had fallen in love with this unknown driver. Her deep look and her streamlined face awakened her desire. Arriving at her little lake, she took off her clothes as she used to, but did not go to the water. On a few sprigs of grass, she was lying down. The softness of his hands caressed his body tenderly. She procured an intense and sensual pleasure, while seeing the face of the unknown driver. His body quivered under his desires and the pleasure that his touch and fantasy gave him. Alex, still driving his truck, was struggling to regain his concentration. He stopped a little further behind and got off the truck. He entered the forest, and behind some big trees, he could not resist the need to give pleasure. While touching, he had only one vision in mind, the attractive young woman on horseback. Alex returned to his truck and finished his day's work. He had only one idea in mind, to see her again. His carnal needs being too intense that night, he went out at the wheel of his Jaguar, to meet an ephemeral female conquest. As he caressed the body of this other woman, he saw the features of Sophie's face, and his silhouette was looming in his thoughts. What had caught Alex's attention, among other things, was that the woman who was riding in an Amazon. He was a little shaken by what he had thought he saw. Although his eyes fixed those of Sophie throughout the period that lasted their short meeting, he had thought to see the nakedness between the thighs of the latter. In fact, Sophie was riding in Amazon. She liked being able to ride with her big skirts, or so short they are. That day, she was wearing a mini skirt, and her leg crossing the other on her saddle Amazon, hinted at the skin of her intimate parts. Alex was determined to see this Amazon again. With a look, she had cried, all his thoughts were then directed to her. He wanted to find a subtle way to see her again and introduce herself to her. The contract he had won with his excavation company allowed him to go to the pit every day. He had spent the Saturday and Sunday following the day of their meeting to think. The following week resumed, and he did not see her again until the following Friday, when he appeared. It was the second week in a row that he saw her at the same place at about the same time. This time she did not see him. He had parked his truck a little behind and had taken the chance to watch his appearance. For her pleasure, she was at the rendezvous. He could not help but follow in his footsteps on the path leading to the small lake. Being discreet, she did not notice her presence. Standing aside, he watched her. He was entitled for the pleasure of his eyes to the withdrawal of his clothes. That day, she was wearing a knee-length skirt and a white camisole, almost transparent. Without even having removed her top, he could detect the shape of her breasts, the curves of her hips. Already a month had passed since their first look. Since he had discovered that Friday afternoon was dedicated to a horseback ride, followed by a nudist break, he was secretly present to see her. Each week did not end with Sophie and Alex's presence at the lake, without her being aware that she was being watched. Sophie had been troubled by Alex's meeting, now a few weeks ago. Her eyes had penetrated deep within herself. The passion in her had awakened for this stranger. His most ardent desire was to meet him one day. The dead leaves had fallen from the trees and now littered the ground. Summer was gone, and for these two beings in search of passion, it was reserved quietly. Alex had not found the courage to go to meet the woman he coveted, and she was unaware of all the interest she aroused in this mysterious man. Autumn arrived in all its splendor. Alex did not have the opportunity to go to the sand pit as he had done, because his contract was over. The winter was bleak. He still did not have a life partner, and living with a loved one would have been good for him. He would have liked to live with this Amazon, but his fate was different. Mediterranean travel. After crossing this harsh winter, the spring season was announced with great joy. During the winter, Sophie had more time to meet her roommate, Claudia. A spring snowstorm hit them suddenly. Deprived of electricity, they had recourse to the combustion of the wood which remained of their last winter, to heat themselves. Only in the darkness they took the opportunity to discuss. Sophie told Claudia that she was cold hands. Her roommate, Claudia, now Sophie's best friend, took her hand in his. They used to hold hands, sometimes even in public. Sophie had often been alone and rejected. She had always wanted to travel, but nobody wanted to travel with her. She dared to take the initiative to ask Claudia if she would like to accompany him on a trip. Their destination would be Greece. For the moment of a summer, she would forget her everyday world to live a fascinating journey through the centuries. The trip was as follows: with the help of a simple travel guide and their backpack, they would go to the discovery of ancient sites and the Mediterranean world. Sophie held her breath. Claudia was delighted by Sophie's proposal and she was already ready to prepare for this trip. It was the month of April and they wanted to make this trip during the summer period. Being a lecturer, Sophie had the opportunity to have her summer free, and fortunately, Claudia's freedom from his finances allowed him to leave quickly. At the beginning of the summer, they took a plane in the direction of Belgium, where they would stop. It was their first experience of flying. They were excited. They were afraid, but the desire to discover the world was stronger than their fear. Arriving at Athens airport, Sophie took a bus with her friend to a small hotel that was suggested in the travel guide. From the roof of her hotel, she could see the Acropolis. They had never done activities together. They thought that they would get on well for this trip and that they would improvise their days once there, with the help of their guide. It was not so. Sophie wanted more to visit the historic sites, while Claudia preferred shopping and beaches. Without quarreling, they decided by mutual agreement to meet again at the end of the summer at the airport. They would continue their journey each on their own. The day after she arrived in Athens, Sophie visited the Acropolis. She wandered through the streets of Athens and organized herself to visit the islands. The historic sites and the beauty of the landscape had motivated his choice. Actively looking for ferry connections from one island to another, she was perplexed. The schedules were difficult to understand and she was not there anymore. She sat on a park bench and thought. Suddenly, a man came to sit by his side. He spoke English with a very pronounced Greek accent. He then offered to come to his shop. He would sell a package tailored to his needs. A little helpless, she followed this man, to whom she gave a small fortune, to pay for this part of the trip. Sophie arrived at the dock. She boarded the ferry that would take her to the island of Naxos. She had to spend the night on this boat, since it was very late. It was very cold. A man stood by his side and ate a piece of chicken with his fingers. He turned to her and offered him, while speaking in the official language. She politely refused her offer and got up from the bench where she sat on the deck, heading for the toilet. Cramped in the corridor, she sought where to relieve her desire. As she opened the toilet door, the man with whom she had traded on the deck was behind her, while inviting her to come in. She opened the door to her full size, while turning to face him. A gleam then crossed their eyes. Without even speaking, because of the language border, their bodies knew what they wanted. He pushed it a little toward the wall and locked the door behind him. As soon as he had barred the door, he turned and kissed him. A fever of desire rose in her. Removing his shirt, he was soon to taste the touch of Sophie's breasts under his shirt. Caressing her breast with one hand, he descended the other under the skirt she was wearing. Suddenly, he turned it face to the wall and while holding his hands on the feverish body of Sophie, he visited his private parts. Her neck backwards, she tried to taste the lips of this stranger. Not having slept by night and arriving early in the morning on the island, she had a boat, cancelled her reservation for her night at the hotel. She did not know where to go. A man came to meet him and touched him with a flower bud in his hand. The crowd descending from the fair had dissipated and she was alone with this stranger. He did not speak French, and little English. He explained that he was a jeweler and that his shop was on the next street. Without detour, he offered him lodging against a little carnal pleasure. She could stay at home as long as she wanted. This man of Greek origin was single, but no less in need of women. Tourists flocked to the summer season and enjoyed the passage of solitary women, to offer them some comfort. A transport strike began. She was stuck on this island. Considering she was confined to this island without means of transportation and no place to sleep, she found the proposal interesting. He goes so to speak that this man was seductive and charming. Wrapped up by his visitor's agreement to remain with him for a while, he made him 1,000 promises. He would take him to visit the island on his scooter, make him discover the food of the country and make his body vibrate with the spray of the Mediterranean. Discovering on foot the winding little streets of the island, Sophie was enchanted by the cachet of the white painted houses, with blue shutters. It was a real labyrinth, but by the end of the morning she had found her way back to her guest's jeweler's shop. It was already the last day of his stay with him. She knew she would regret the presence of this man with sweet kisses. As a farewell, he offered her a little charm, meaning that she would remember forever the time they had shared. Sophie arrived at Athens airport with all her memories and watched for the arrival of her friend Claudia. Once they had met, they had 1,000 things to tell each other. They would take advantage of their return flight to discuss their respective experiences. Under the appearances. When she returned from her trip, Claudia had told Sophie that she had fallen in love with a Canadian soldier on leave in Greece. He was a fan of scuba diving and introduced Claudia to the sport. She had discovered a majestic aquatic world, such as Sophie was a little jealous. In turn, she wanted to discover this sport. It was the end of the summer and his scuba diving project would probably see the light of the next summer. The cold season followed, without history. Now holding her dive cards, she planned to do some dives in this new summer season with Claudia. They made some trips that were very nice, but others were terrible. Having recovered a little from her fear, she planned another dive in the river with Claudia. Arrived on the spot, they saw an offshore buoy. They equipped themselves with everything they needed and swam to the buoy. They immersed themselves and followed a cable that led to a wreck. They had finally found the wreck and had taken advantage of the ecstasy that gave them this vision underwater. They had not only enjoyed the pleasure of the adrenaline rush of their dive, they had continued this feeling of well-being. Scarcely had they relieved themselves of their equipment, then tenderly offered a sweet kiss, as if this light and intimate contact came to reconcile their bodies imbued with intense emotions. After their dive, their day outdoors and sensual bewildering, they returned to their homes. Claudia had warned Sophie, rather during the day, that her military friend was visiting the country and that he would visit him with a friend of his. They took the aperitif that was knocked on the door. Mike and Adam were standing right in front of the entrance. Claudia invited them to join them. Sophie was single for 3 years. Claudia indirectly suggested that she present it to her 2 companions. In fact, Claudia was keeping Mike, the man she had met in Greece. So Sophie met Adam, in spite of which she would finish the evening alone, and maybe even the year. Sophie started a marital relationship with Adam. It was October and Adam was to return on mission the following month. To emphasize his departure and his love for Sophie, he invited her to a very chic restaurant bar in the region. For the occasion, she donned her tight little black dress, cut very short. Her long hair was pulled up and a pendant was sitting on her neck. From the top of her high heels, she had made a remarkable entrance. The bartender in the square stared at her, so much so that Adam asked Sophie if she knew him. She replied in the negative. They went to the bar for a cocktail. The bartender came to serve them a drink and introduced himself, as owner of the place, welcomed them and left immediately. Adam had appreciated the courtesy of the owner of the place and invited him to take a drink with them. Passion memories. The owner of the resto bar was Alex. His blood froze as soon as he saw the woman who had made him dream 3 years rather, entered his restaurant. Sitting at the bar, Sophie did not recognize Alex. The latter did nothing to revive this memory in her. After the summer season he had shared in Sophie's dream, he had met a lovely lady, who worked as a waitress at his restaurant. He had been courting her until she had moved in with him. 2 years had passed before she left for another. Alex was not of the temper to end marital relationships, it was rather always the opposite that occurred. Although he gave sexual freedom to his partners, they ended up leaving him to join another man. Before seeing Sophie for the first time on horseback, Alex had somehow put a cross on marital relations. Tired of always reliving the same story, he made the decision to live his celibacy by taking advantage of all the opportunities presented to him. Many women had succumbed to her charm. After satisfying his desires, he lost little time in throwing them out. One day, he found himself in a situation like no other. 4 women he knew well, had fallen in love with him. It was not long after he broke up with the girl with whom he had shared 2 years. Having ample of choice, he left with one of them. He went after him, where they indulged in their antics. When she woke up, she was not his surprise when he learned that she was moving in with him. He had given Anne the right to attend other men for pleasure. He had always had this mentality. All his wives had always had the right to attend other men for pleasure, on the condition of being honest with him, which was not always the case. He was an open-minded man with ideas on the margins of society. Anne had also become a bartender at her husband's restaurant bar. They had been married for a year. That relationship was already fading away. She took pleasure in seeing other men without Alex's knowledge. This pleasure was no longer shared as it should have been. Out of sight, out of mind. The evening that the two couples shared that night marked the beginning of a friendship. Alex will keep secret the summer he had spent with Sophie in the woods, to observe him without his knowledge. Her desire for her had not dried up, even though it was flourishing. Chance had taken her to her restaurant that night. He had savored Sophie's presence at his side. Sophie, who had been in a relationship with Adam recently for lack of anything better, had eaten Alex's eyes all night long. They were captivated by many discussions throughout their meeting, forgetting until the presence of their spouses. That night marked love at first sight between Sophie and Alex. Adam, having left the country, left the field free to Sophie to frequent Alex, in his dreams, because this one will not manifest his presence during all the absence of Adam. Alex, who could no longer stand the repeated lies of his wife, was quick to petition for divorce. It was now months ago that she had no news of him. She thought only of him day and night. She was still officially in a relationship with Adam, no matter how far away from her. Yet his heart was elsewhere, Alex having delighted him. Tired of this relationship with Adam who was not going anywhere, she decided to leave him. At the same time, she decided to sell her horse and leave the farm where she lived with Claudia. She was going to settle alone. Solitude being still difficult to live, it was not long to meet many suitors by dating sites. A different man shared his bed each weekend. After she had filled her void, she was not long in throwing them out. During sex with partners from the net, she fantasized about Alex. In the place of the one who took it, she saw Alex's face, his body, and his muscles. She closed her eyes and thought of him ardently. Desire and passion rose in her. Like a fury, she moved and followed the rhythm of her partner. She was simply explosive in bed, and her prospects were often very insistent afterwards to set another meeting, which she declined. She did not want more than a relationship with these men, not to develop emotional bonds. Every night she fell asleep dreaming of Alex. She imagined that one night, he would enter his flat gently and slip under the sheets at his side. She would sleep a deep sleep, not perceiving her presence. He would take all his time to savor the sweet curves and the skin of Sophie. He would caress her cheek, then her breasts. Turning to face her by grabbing a breast of one hand, he would wear the other to her panties. His desire would rise before that woman he desired. She remained inert in her sleep, which he took all the same. He made love to her passionately to let go in her. Just before retiring, she opened her eyes and saw her. Every night going to bed, she dreamed that her fantasy became reality. Before falling asleep, she fondled herself. She loved to give pleasure while dreaming that the man she was in love comes from her sleep making love to her. The autumn equinox. It was the day of the autumnal equinox. Sophie loved the outdoors and took long walks every day. That day was sunny, we could have thought in the middle of summer. Behind her house was woodland where she practiced the off-piste. After 30 minutes of walking she arrived in front of a big rock, where a tree had managed to take root. The trunk of the tree ran along the side of the rock and climbed to the sky. In this secluded place, she allowed herself to live a naughty pleasure, nudism. In her backpack, she took with her a large blanket, which she unfurled at the foot of the rock. Sensually and on the lookout for voyeuristic glances, she took off all her clothes. Graciously, she lay on the duvet and watched the blue of the sky through the colorful foliage of the trees. Closing her eyes to feel better her body, she ran it with her hands and caressed him to give him pleasure. The day before this forest escapade had proved a short night. As she loved to write at her hours, she had spent the night before correcting her latest novel. Having slept little, she was exhausted and had fallen asleep naked in the middle of the woods. Sophie wrote erotic novels and was inspired by her fantasies and her experience to realize the writing. On her bedside table, she had left her last story on the last page. Alex had learned of Adam's return from his mission, by an email sent by him. Alex took the initiative to go and pay a surprise visit to Adam. During this visit, Alex learned from Adam's mouth that Sophie had broken up with him for a few months already. Alex's heart squeezed. Sophie was free of heart and he did not know. He suddenly got up and told a host an important business meeting to end his visit. Alex went on the farm to Claudia, to meet Sophie. Claudia comes to open the door. He asked to see Sophie. She informed him of his move. Alex took a step back to leave when suddenly Claudia invited him in, while keeping an eye on him. Alex declined his invitation and turned back. He did not take long to find Sophie's new address, where he showed up immediately. The front door was not locked. He entered her home easily. In Sophie's absence, he learned about the place. On the kitchen table was a glass of half-full red wine. He dipped his lips. Passing the entrance to the bathroom, he saw Sophie's clothes scattered here and there. He stepped forward and took one of her panties she had worn and sniffed it. His scent aroused his desire. He decided to keep the pants and put it in the back pocket of his pants. Continuing his discovery of the place, he arrived at the bedroom. The bed had not been made and his book was in sight on the bedside table. Alex's curiosity overcame his reason and he could not resist the urge to read what she had written. He reveled in the words. Having read the last pages of the book, he left the apartment. Sophie was still sleeping deep at the foot of the rock and had not noticed anyone's presence. Behind a tree hid a man staring at her and with uncontrollable desires. The man approached and lay down on Sophie, still asleep. He had lowered his pants and was about to break into her. Plunged into a deep sleep, she did not know what was happening to her. She dreamed of her craziest fantasy, getting caught by Alex in his sleep and waking up at his side. A few minutes later, she awoke and jumped at the sight of a man standing near her. Alex sat next to her, waiting for her to leave the wonderful world of dreams. After recovering, she reached her arms around Alex's body and snuggled against him. He hugged her and kissed him. Everything was jostling in Sophie's head. She told Alex the dream she was still making, but this time it seemed more real than ever. She realized then that she was naked in front of him. She took the corner of her blanket to cover herself. Alex did not say a word and took off the blanket. He brushed her breasts with her fingers and lowered her hand between her thighs. Unable to resist Alex's charm and touch, she let him. He procured him an intense pleasure. After she had touched the sky, they lay against each other in the leaves that lay on the ground, holding each other's hands. Raising a little earth to see Sophie's eyes, he asked her spontaneously without thinking, to marry her. Even in her wildest dreams and fantasies, she had never dared to imagine that he would ask her in marriage. Her heart was pounding and she wondered if she was still dreaming. While giving Alex a kiss, she said yes. They would celebrate their marriage in a year, day to day. Proposals and confessions. They started a relationship after the 3 years they had met for the first time. He did not delay in making daring proposals. He offered her full sexual freedom, as he had offered to all these old partners. She had the right to attend other men at her convenience. He liked to offer his wife, it only increased his desire for him. She had promised her that she would be an unfaithful woman. Of course, she told him openly about her meetings and she did not hide anything from him. They shared this unconventional pleasure. She then confided openly to Alex about an infidelity she had committed in the fairly recent past when she was still in a relationship with Adam. Adam had been away all winter, so she decided to take a vacation during the holiday season. She had taken the direction of Gaspésie. She had some dating on the internet, but nothing conclusive. On the road to the Gaspé, she made a stop halfway to meet a man with whom she was chatting on the net. He had a strange behavior, even that it inspired him fear. Reasoning herself, she thought it was only worry and she continued on her way. Then, arriving at the inn where she had booked for 2 nights, she met the innkeeper, a very welcoming and friendly man. This man invited him to have a beer in his room. He showed him paintings he had made. The innkeeper told him that he liked to be alone at night to paint and let emancipate his passion for art. He made him pay attention to one of his paintings. He said to her, "Do you not notice something?" She had not denoted anything particular. He then showed her a man who was wearing bright colors. He said to him, "This man is homosexual, just like me." Sophie had always had a fascination for homosexuality, man-man. She appreciated the contact between them, even that it awakened in her his desire to be taken by one of these men. Her meeting with the innkeeper had delighted her. She was happy to have shared a moment of genuine communication with someone of this sexual orientation. What she most wanted the next day was to go fishing on the ice. To his surprise, a man had come to talk to him. After a little discussion, they decided to have a beer together. His name was François. They had spent all night and night chatting and playing pool. After leaving the bar, they wandered the streets while chatting. Suddenly he stopped and took her by surprise, kissing her in the street. She had followed him to the room where he was staying. He was staying in a monastery where she had spent the night with him. Maybe a bit naive, she thought they were only going to sleep. She realized that would not be the case at the last minute. A little late to turn back, she let herself go in her arms. The next morning, how stupefied was she to hear the religious songs from her sleep. They exchanged their phone numbers and she left the monastery. She had gone back to her inn to pick up her things and headed back to her home. When she received an invitation from Francis, she accepted. They had met in the Gaspe Peninsula, and chance had meant that their home was both nearby. They would meet each other a few times a week to savor the pleasure of their bodies. It was a very carnal relationship. In fact, they had little in common, other than fire sexuality. In the past, she had not explored her sexuality. Spouses who had shared his life until then were not very open on the subject. Francis was different. He had an extroverted personality and did not feel any discomfort with his body or that of his partner. He had discovered Sophie's pleasures which were then unknown to him. The infidel. The deep nature of Sophie had in some ways never been emancipated in the past. She followed nonchalantly the rules established by society and religions, to be faithful to her spouse. Moreover, inside herself, she perceived life from another point of view. If her body and mind demanded satisfaction, she assumed the scope of her actions as an unfaithful woman. In the past, at the beginning of her adult life, she had experienced it in a certain way. Being betrothed to a man for whom she felt little interest, she took advantage of the meeting of one of his acquaintances to escape this conjugal relationship that did not satisfy his desires. Without notice, she told the man she had just met about his interest in him. Being open to her advances, she made the jump. She informed her ex-fiancé of their breakup. She was going to live under another roof. The unfaithfulness she had committed was rooted in the fact that before leaving her fiancé for this other man, she had desires for a being who was not her husband. It was somehow immoral in the eyes of society, but in fact, she was free and a master of her destiny. Alex had thought to denote in Sophie, this innate answer, to be unfaithful. This was not an obstacle for him and he had always offered sexual freedom to his partners and had done the same for Sophie. During long erotic nights they both shared, he took advantage of the opportunity to develop his theory of infidelity. Hugging for several hours in a row, they discussed their point of view. Sophie had delighted with Alex's proposal of being unfaithful to her openly. She would seize this unexpected opportunity, not all the time, not a credo. Sophie and Alex were very open-minded and shared particular intimate moments. He had asked her, among other things, to wear no underwear. Occasionally she used this principle, for example when she wandered alone in the woods. Considering Alex's proposal, she wore no underwear anymore. It gave him a sense of freedom. Alex lived during a certain period a slowdown in his libido. Sophie, being a hot nature, was somehow demanding of Alex, who could not meet his expectations. Seizing by default the opportunity to be unfaithful, she found a way to reconnect with François. Their separation was unexpectedly made by the force of things. The work of Francis forcing him to move, the proximity between them evaporated, leaving room for emptiness, hence this relationship was extinguished. Sophie and Alex had often discussed the fact that she saw François again, but she surprised Alex one day after work, telling him that she had found him. With the help of the internet, she had researched to find him, having no trace of him. She had discussed things with Francois, but had no time to make a direct request to have sex with him. She had informed him that she was in a relationship and that her partner was aware of her intentions. Francis had taken some time to think and had acquiesced. When she first met Francois, she had explored new facets of her sexuality. He had made her discover pleasures she had never known before. He had such a way of taking to her that she was climbing to seventh heaven. She had finished working at 4 o'clock and her old lover, Francois, was about to arrive at their meeting point soon. When Francis saw her, he went to her and kissed her passionately on the lips in the middle of a restaurant, where people who knew her could have surprised her. She was obviously surprised and happy despite everything. Arrived at their home, they sat all three on the sofa, Alex on his left and Francis on his right. For this weekend, it was agreed with Alex that all attention should be directed to Francois. She even had the right to let her heart beat to the rhythm of love, if that were her desires. Alex saw no problem. Sophie wanted Alex to be present during his meeting with Francois. She had often told him about him and she wanted them to meet and get to know each other. If a woman shares both her body and her heart with two men, the likelihood that they will meet increases. She wanted to create a warm and sensual atmosphere, where the evocation of her sexual urges could be savored by the one with whom she officially shared her life. She had gone to the bedroom with Francois. Arrived in the room, they lost little time to engage in their antics. He had pushed him a little abruptly on the bed and fervently he had taken it. Their actions were almost violent as they tried to make their clothes disappear eagerly. Eyes in the eyes, lips devouring each other, they attempt with desire, ardor, and passion. His member awake, he propelled to horizons where such pleasure was not allowed. She would never have ventured, nor even thought of getting acquainted with such sensations. Yet she lived them well and truly. At the height of their pleasure, she let exalt a cry of pleasure, which will cause the orgasm repressed desire to satisfy Francis. Alex in the adjoining room could not take it any more. He listened to Sophie's cries of pleasure and could not resist the crazy desire to caress, while trying to imagine the scene, which unfolded almost before his eyes. Another time she was unfaithful, it was actually for Alex. She was still with Adam, but bewitched by Alex's charm. The night she saw him at the restaurant, she committed adultery. She had thought of him during his intimate relationship with Adam. Share his wife. Alex had always been a marginal. Throughout his life he had adopted the following philosophy: live and let live. In his relationships of couples, all the women with whom he had shared his life had the right to their sexual freedom. They had the right to go to other men for sex, without causing any trouble. Moreover, one of his former spouses was giving free rein to his sexual desires by satisfying his desires with friends of Alex, which did not cause him any problem. To share his wife with other men was an immeasurable pleasure for him. The libido of the women with whom he shared his life being sometimes larger than his, he liked to know that his partner is satisfied. Moreover, the extramarital sexual act gave him pleasure. Candalism is a way of life in which a man likes to share his wife with other men for sexual pleasure. Alex had adopted this way of thinking throughout his life. Finding the body of such a woman as the first wonder of the world, he told himself that he had to share with others the feminine beauty. Alex had presented a naughty dating site to Sophie, where you can see erotic pictures of yourself. Idea seduced Sophie. She had a small exhibitionist side and the opportunity to appear naked in the eyes of other men pleased him well. She had drawn up her personal page and posted pictures of her. She was openly discussing her desires and fantasies with those men who asked for more. She had dared to reveal herself naked in front of the virtual camera for the pleasure of the men to whom she had conversations. One man, among others, had special requests. He loved lingerie and beautiful shoes. Loving to please her interlocutor, she showed her charms in light clothes to bear. The opportunity. Sophie and Alex had decided to unite their life by the bonds of marriage. In a ceremony sumptuously filled with love, but sober, they had vowed to love each other for life. Although he had granted her sexual freedom, for them the bonds that united them were sacred. She could share her body with other men, that he would only be happier. He even dared to ask her to be in love with another man, while being in love with him. This prospect delighted him. He felt a real pleasure, only to imagine that this situation could happen one day. Since François left, they did not have much attendance. They lived a little secluded in their world. She wanted to take pleasure in enjoying extramarital sex and thereby make her husband happy, but they knew few people. They lived in a small house in a residential area since they decided to live together. It was a quiet neighborhood with no history. The house he had in the basement had been vacant for some time. The tenant who was staying there then vanished overnight. One day, however, a strange character appeared in their lives. A beautiful Sunday afternoon, this strange individual had come to move into their apartment. They had still rented him, despite his strange behavior. He was accompanied by many friends who had come to lend him a hand for his move. The arrival of Pascal in their life would change the face of it. From now on, evenings and weekends offered the possibility of new encounters. They shared good time with friends, whom they learned to know personally. Sophie finally developed a certain friendship especially for a man named Patrick. During a hockey game, which she watched as she sat between Alex and Patrick, he wanted to make bets on the winning team in exchange for sexual favors. She realized then that she might have a chance to develop more than a friendship with this man. He might even become his future lover. Sophie was beginning to look particularly for Patrick's company. She regularly sat by her side and sometimes had a long discussion with him alone. Alex had noticed Sophie's attraction to Patrick and was thrilled with it. On Patrick's side, Sophie's desire was very apparent. Moreover, Sophie did not hesitate to make advances to Patrick in the eyes of everyone, without worrying. They all suspected more or less that there was a palpable attraction between these two bodies who wanted only to satisfy their desires. Sophie did not care about the opinion of others. She had an agreement with Alex and expected to achieve his goals. She would have the opportunity to discover another body and have fun. Side heart, it was already too late, she became in love with this other man. Fortunately, it was in the desires of her husband that she feels a sense of love. The meetings were more and more frequent and it even happened that Sophie leaves the conjugal nest to be alone with Patrick. Sophie had asked her husband's agreement on a summer Sunday to accompany Patrick on a motorcycle ballad. Alex had given him permission to go alone with Patrick for this getaway. He was hoping that something would happen. Since her flirtation with Patrick, Sophie had told her lover all the details of it. She had told him about their meeting and the content of their discussions. At that moment, nothing special had happened between them. Only glances and smiles. On this beautiful Sunday, she took her swimsuit and towel and jumped on the bike behind Patrick, who had just parked in front of their house. Alex was there. He had greeted Patrick, kissed his wife and wished him a wonderful day. In the meantime, he would take the opportunity to watch erotic videos and caress the day. He liked to indulge in solitary pleasure on occasion, and Sophie was not offended at all. Patrick knew a little slice of heaven an hour from home where they could swim in clear water and nobody was going. They would be alone for a long time for the first time. She told him bits of his life and he did the same. Until then there had been no physical contact. Patrick seemed to reserve more than Sophie to get involved in this relationship. In fact, he was worried that if he showed too much interest in Alex's wife, he would be furious with him. He knew nothing of Sophie's agreement with Alex. Just after getting off the bike to get to the edge of the lake, Sophie told Patrick that if he wanted her, she was up and that Alex was in agreement. Patrick did not answer. She went to undress to put on her bikini. Being still nearby, Patrick took the opportunity to savor the beauty of the body of his coveted. He had removed his jeans and in underwear he was ready for swimming. Sophie had come to join him, while he was already in the water. They had hardly seen the time pass that the darkness was pointing. They still had no direct discussion about the state of the relationship they had, their likes, desires. They did not even touch the tip of a finger. As the darkness arrived, Patrick wanted more time with Sophie. He therefore proposed to make a fire, and to continue their courting. She nodded, telling herself she was going to take advantage of this moment to make formal advances and even who knows how to act. The trip. A few weeks had passed before Alex told Sophie about her new fantasy. He wanted to share a sex with Patrick. She had been a little stunned by his words. Always open-minded and adventurous, she says yes to Alex. He was overjoyed. As soon as an opportunity arose, they would seize it. They had not heard from Patrick for several weeks after the motorcycle ride. On a Friday night with a hot autumn start, he came for a friendly visit. Alex then offered him a drink and invited him to sit in the living room. Patrick noticed that changes had been made in the decoration and furnishing of their furniture. She knew how to sniff the unexpected opportunity. She invited Patrick to come and contemplate the new decor of their bedroom. In the morning when she woke up, after Alex had left the house for work, Sophie regularly enjoyed solitary pleasures. She had a lot of replica male member of all varieties, to satisfy his desires. On the bed, she had forgotten one of her accessories of pleasure. Patrick was not without noticing it. She then took the object of her pleasures and said to Patrick, "I have several, would you like to see them?" Uncomfortable and intrigued, he had approached Sophie, who was opening her drawer. Different objects for penetration of all kinds were exposed to them. This facet of sexuality was Francis who had made him discover. She had however largely emancipated with Alex, who himself loved to discover new sensations. Sophie had turned abruptly and spanked Patrick, who was standing behind her. They had never been so close physically, and especially in the presence of Alex. She had closed her eyes and had suddenly stretched her lips, while touching her with a finger. He had returned her kiss, which had finally become an unrestrained embrace under Alex's eyes. He was a little shocked. Almost on the verge of getting upset, he took a breath and kept his cool. He was visualizing his fantasy about to take shape. He was excited and his member was swollen with pleasure. Always on the other side of the door, he was not sure how to cross it and join the two lovers entwined. Patrick had appeared in their lives and seduced her with her charm and madness. His body was only lust. A single touch would have led to divine pleasures. He had a way of expressing herself that she particularly liked. Their last conversations were deeper and deeper intimately. She had entrusted him with aspects of his life that only Alex knew, having lived with her. During their occasional meetings, he dragged her more and more openly, even in front of Alex. Sophie had let her hands slide down Patrick's body. He had then taken her by the waist and laid her on the crumpled sheets. They no longer contained their sexual ardor. He had removed Sophie's blouse and savored her breasts. His hand had made his way to under her skirt. He had confirmed his suspicions, she wore no underwear. She had undone her belt and went to get her member, whom she had firmly grasped. He had then released his hands from her for a moment to remove his pants and sweater. They were both naked in the bedroom, the husband standing on the threshold of the door not knowing what direction to take. Alex quickly jumped into the water. He wanted to. With a calm and decided gesture he had taken off his trousers under the portico and had carried his hand to his private parts. He caressed gently, while enjoying watching the scene. Sophie was then faced with two men in thirst for sex. With a wave of the hand, she had signaled to Alex to approach. He had taken a seat on the bed next to her and Patrick. She had greedily taken the member of her husband in her mouth, while she held that of his new partner in his other hand. She had changed a few times to whom, by right, the pleasure of her mouth. She stared at her husband regularly to feel his reactions, namely, did he still like that? She had suddenly noticed that her husband's gaze was heading regularly towards the sex of their partner. She would not make a case, but she would slip a word, to know. Alex could no longer resist all the excitement he felt had taken his wife from behind. Seeing that everything seemed allowed, Patrick had taken Sophie simultaneously in front. They found themselves in a closeness they had never experienced. She had closed her eyes and savored the passionate kisses of her new partner and the spring passion that seemed to seize her husband. Everyone felt a moment of intense enjoyment at different intervals. All had tasted the pleasure of sharing a woman for two men. Alex turned on his back after falling into her and fell asleep abruptly. After Patrick also took pleasure, she gently invited him to go home. She had snuggled against the warm, frothy body of her husband and fell asleep. Indian summer. For their first wedding anniversary, Alex had a plan in mind. It would be a canoe camping adventure that would be out of the ordinary. Sophie had offered her husband, as a wedding gift, a canoe. Each summer weekend was an opportunity for them to put the boat in the water and savor the moment. He was aboard the boat with them, always 2 folding chairs and a cooler filled with food. Hop liquor still had its place. When they woke up, they chose a destination and went there. Arrived at the chosen place, they equipped themselves securely for their expeditions and took with them their precious drink. They sailed for a while, then found a small corner of sight on the shore for a stop. Several hours could pass, that they did not see the time spent. As usual, they took off all their clothes and had their bodies sunburned in the sun. They took advantage of the enchanting scenery of nature to photograph them, in their nakedness. In this 3rd autumnal equinox spent together, they celebrated their first wedding anniversary, as well as their official debut as a couple. For their honeymoon, which they had not done yet, Alex was going to take his wife to a place she had never seen before. The place of their embarkation would be at a rest stop that offered a breathtaking view of a huge lake. Alex had spotted this place long ago, while he was doing long tours with his Jaguar. After a few hours they arrived at their destination. Sophie did not know where they were, because Alex had been careful to blindfold him. He had removed the scarf that obstructed his wife's vision and made her face the lake. The water was calm and the banks were lined with a forest where the colors of autumn were in the spotlight. Under the amazed eyes of his wife, he had opened the trunk of the car. He had everything ready. All their camping gear was there. Alex had planned to find a quiet and intimate place for a day and a night like no other. From the parking lot, a steep hill descended to the lake. They lowered the boat and all their equipment. Taking a seat aboard their boat, they had paddled a good hour before seeing the rapids of a river. Beyond the rapids was a small isolated island that had caught their attention. Passing where the water was less agitated, they had managed to land on the island. The place was simply magical. The island was dotted with large mature trees, while being sparse. The location was perfect for pitching their tent and indulging in their guilty pleasure, nudism in nature. From their sight, they could see through the branches the lake and the river. Their equipment was barely out of the boat that Sophie wanted to swim in the river. The fast water was shallow. In a basin formed by the rocks, she sat down, letting the force of the water whip her skin. It was a natural hot tub. Passion transcended their gaze, which was constantly growing. At times, only a flicker increased their heart rate and excitement. Approaching dripping Alex, she had stopped him in his campfire making of his shirt. Lovingly she had unbuttoned it, then removed it. She had undone her belt and removed her pants. She had pushed Alex against a rock, where he had leaned against. She dropped to her knees, her mouth was at the height of Alex's pleasures. She had tasted it wildly. This majestic landscape was conducive to writing. Always having a notebook and a pencil in her hand, she wanted to take advantage of this exceptional place to devote herself to writing. Only it was not she who had packed and Alex had failed to bring his notebook. Seeking support for writing, she had thought of taking some newspaper sheets that he had brought to light the fire. Even if the paper were covered with scriptures, she would see hers on top of it. During this time, Alex roamed the island, naked, in search of wood to feed the campfire. The sun was setting on the horizon and some fear was gaining them. They were alone on an island, far from civilization, in the middle of the night. The campfire had ignited and soon became their only source of light. In almost total darkness, they had fun taking sexy pictures everywhere. Sitting in front of their fire, there was only the sound of cicadas and bustards in the distance when suddenly Sophie heard crunches that sounded like footsteps. To reassure his wife, Alex went on a tour of the island to make sure they were alone. Time passed and Sophie was still waiting for the return of her husband, who was slow to return. She took the whistle from his boating jacket and whistled a blow. Almost immediately, Alex reappeared, looking a little strange. Sophie asked him why he looked so curious. Without saying a word, he turned it face to a tree and he opened his thighs. It happened occasionally to Alex to have desires of this kind. She was not offended and allowed him to do so. She even took pleasure in it, because it lost a little control. In their tent, they had spent the night side by side. Alex waited for his wife to fall into a deep sleep. He wanted to give her some things he could not tell her openly when she was awake. Being unable to confide openly to her, he sometimes took advantage of the night to make his confession. At sunrise, Sophie went to join Alex out of the tent, near the embers. She had a strange dream. The images were shattering in his head, like waves breaking against the ribs. She struggled to get a clear and global vision of her dream. His ideas jostled at a frantic pace. She had thought she saw a male figure, but it was not her husband. Suddenly murmurs were heard, emerging from his dream the memory. Just like the time she had felt Alex making love to her in her sleep, that dream seemed to be true. Dream still going on. Alex was partying on a skateboard on the island, at the time of foreign presence who could surprise them in their simplest simple addition. Nometers the territory was into the total nightly. I'll be back with the neighbors. At the extreme oversight of the island, his senses in alert. Suddenly, draws in the shade a masculine silhouette waiting for. The island was silent, in which there were sing of bird. Come late at night, the geese made themselves understood. Exactly agreeing with the sunrise, he cracked on this branch, keeping an eye on it, announcing the venue of a secret visitor. Alex reveals himself. A week had passed since the desire to question Alex about his attraction to the member of their trio partner was felt. He had thrown frequent furtive glances and had strangely taken a stern passion from behind. She was very curious to know more about it. As they watched their daily erotic video in the evening before going to bed, she asked him to watch a movie showing two men giving themselves pleasure. Stunned, he stared at her and asked why she wanted to see that. Sophie had then explained to Alex his fascination for sex between two men. It was something that excited him. In the past, she had watched a film telling a love story between two men and revealing some of their sexuality. She loved this male attraction. She had even admitted to having visualized him, her own husband, having intimate contact with their new partner when she thought she had noticed the attraction. Alex could not deny anything. She was right. He had an attraction for men. He had confided in his heart to his wife in the greatest confidence. He had lived an episode of his life where he shared his sexuality with another man. After a few months of regular dating with this man, he had learned that men were called homosexual men, which interrupted his ardor for his partner. As a result of this part of his life, he was stuck with female dating. At that time, he had experienced intense moments with his partner. No regrets, he had confessed to his wife that he might still want to date if an opportunity arose. Far from being outraged, she was delighted. Just as he had offered her sexual freedom with other men, she also offered him his only male sex. She loved her husband and their unions at all costs by the bonds of marriage. She could not envision her life without him. The life of Sophie and Alex's couple was gradually going to change, according to their realities and their needs. The traditional life of a heterosexual couple has never been theirs until today. Living and adopting their philosophy of life, which they had both built up over the years of their common lives, they made conventions of society. We would not dictate their fate under their roof. They faced a new reality, Alex's declared homosexuality. He liked to have sex with other men. The last relations he had went back to their escapade on the island. It was his first homosexual relationship since he had stopped dating the first partner of his life. The branch that had cracked just as the sun was setting was somehow the signal that the sexual partner with whom Alex had fixed an appointment, presented itself as agreed. Alex did not want to show his enthusiasm in the sight of his wife, trying to contain all the excitement that was emerging in him. As soon as the noise was heard, he had suddenly turned his back on Sophie as he did not want her to see his member inflated promptly, for no apparent reason. Yet there was a foundation for this flood of male hormones. Alex, who for some time had been watching for the success of their canoe expedition, had found time to update his profile on the dating site he attended. He had this card on this site for many years. Sophie was not aware of her existence. In fact, Alex never visited it, so to speak. However, his ardor and desires of men aroused in him the desire to satisfy them. He had updated his file by showing that he was homosexual and that he was looking for the company of men to exchange sexual fantasies. His new desires had recently arisen during the three-way relationship they had shared. The sight, the nearness, and almost the touch of the liquid of pleasure which flowed from this other member, had stimulated his sexual desires of men, which he had dominated all his life. For him, he felt the need to reconnect with his deep nature, but he did not want to destroy his marriage. The only one seemed to be a chance meeting for an appointment, and who knows when would be next time. He had always been honest with his wife, but for the second time since joining, he could not tell the truth. He waited for her to fall asleep and then confessed to her. It was a way for him to feel guilty in some way, not being able to tell him the truth face to face. Happy spell was reserved for him. His wife had discovered his attraction to men. She had invited him to open to her. Sophie had also confided in Alex. She had confessed to him his attraction to sex from men to men. She did not know why it was so, but she had known that feeling for a long time. She had a state of openness that seemed to be conducive to confessions. Alex still had the fear of being judged and rejected. He had the courage to make fronts to his fears and dared to express himself. Far from being unwelcome, his wife was delighted. The desires of Alex's men nourished her own fantasies. The confession of her husband, far from keeping the couple away, had brought them closer together. They felt very united by sharing their male sexual taste. The next step for them was to establish opportunities where each of them would live intensely their sexual desires. The emancipated man. Winter was the season when Alex took the opportunity to rest, the work ceasing for this period. Sophie was still a lecturer at the university and still had the advantage of having her Friday afternoons off. As soon as she arrived, she changed into naked clothes, finding her Alex's naked body in front of the TV screen, stroking the day. Sophie had the attention of writing a new sheet to Alex, for his profile on the dating site. His craziest desire, to feel again the sensation of a male member near and in him. Sophie was very concerned about Alex's sexual needs, but did not neglect hers. Part of Sophie's world was at the university, where her work was. The fall session was ending, as she had recently met a graduate student. She had the opportunity to meet this man sometimes in the library or in the cafeteria. He always seemed happy to cross his path, inquired about his news. She answered politely with a smile, a brief answer. This man had an irreproachable physique and a seductive intellectual character. She felt a certain attraction towards her, but she did not want to make the freedom that Alex had offered her, a pretense that took her time, that she would not have to share with Alex anymore. She had been surprised one day at the library, by a sudden surge of impulses and sexual desire for this man. These carnal sensations came to confirm her in her growing lack of sex. Although Sophie and Alex still had an active sex life, she still had needs that were not met. It was a Thursday night and, unusually, Sophie had to stay at the university longer than usual to finalize her work. Just before the cafeteria closed, she went to get a last coffee for the evening. Mark, the master's student, had the same idea of her. Sophie had not seen him, staring into the back of his purse, searching for his cigarettes. From Mark's point of view, there was a perfect opportunity to suggest a little abruptly, a rapprochement that was inevitable between him and Sophie. Arriving behind her, he put his hands on her shoulders and guided her to the broom closet. He closed the door behind them and in his frenzy inquired about a kiss that had not yet been offered. Never mind, Sophie's bodily and psychic reaction offered a more than admirable response to the scale at which her sexual needs climbed. Having no desire to offer resistance to Mark, she let him take hold of his body. The sweetness was not quite at the rendezvous and the sexual energy emanated from their bodies in friction, coiled against each other in action. As quickly as this frenzy began, it ended with a feeling of intense satisfaction for both parties. Meanwhile, the time that Alex had given him had paid off. He had been consulted his messages on the dating site he attended. Having shown interest in a particular man, he responded with eagerness. Alone in the living room at home, Alex was feverish and excited. Certain awkwardness seemed to take hold of him. Suddenly, a window opened in his computer screen. He was the man with whom he was trying to establish a contact, who was online and wanted to have a live chat with him. Alex was receptive and started a keyboard discussion that was getting too slow compared to anything they wanted to share. Paul invited Alex to connect to his virtual camera. Paul was a little younger than Alex, still showing good spirit. Paul's body represented male perfection, according to Alex's criteria. Of good size, he exuded strength and an assurance in him motivating and communicative. At first glance, they are mutually agreeable. Sophie would arrive in barely 30 minutes. He had little time in front of him. With confidence he inquired about his member and caressed him. Paul did the same. Alex quickly concluded his breath of pleasure under the eyes of Paul, who had also said his pleasure. This time had offered them little time, but an upcoming meeting would certainly guarantee many hours of enjoyment. Perhaps it would even be a real encounter since they lived in nearby cities. It was a next appointment. Sophie and Alex had met late in the evening, glued to each other as usual. Each had their secret garden, but had only one wish, to make it visit the chosen one of their heart. It was late and sleeping was the best thing to do. They had reserved their Friday night, to share their experiences and their emotions. After having thought little, they decided that by the fact, the Thursday would be an intimate day as much in the universe in which Sophie lived, that which composed the reality of Alex. At each time for their intimacy, Friday would be the day dedicated to the sharing of their respective secret gardens. The weather had cooled a lot, winter ringing its coming. With a white veil, he would come to cover the earth, but no less cool the ardor of these two beings who had discovered at one glance one day, the deepest of their souls. Through their passions and desires, they lived at the rhythm of the same frequencies. Infidelity as much as homosexuality are still sometimes too much misunderstanding within society. If each being became aware of its reality and dared to assert itself honestly in the eyes of others, the global vision of these taboos would become acceptable realities for everyone. Life is short and you have to enjoy it when it comes up. Her husband felt an attraction for other men. Was she going to deprive him of it? Sophie believed that Alex had undoubtedly pulled the right number in the lottery of life. He could live his love and his life with his wife every day and share carnal pleasures very masculine. He could live all these aspects of his life, in the greatest respect of his wife. Luck at the rendezvous, far from repelling Sophie, his homosexuality pleased him. She could never have imagined such a person on earth, and yet he is the man of his life, more perfect than ever.